lake or crawl through sewage? What about taking a shower in pesticide while you protect your house from bugs? And why are you buying and consuming conventionally harvested and raised foods? You need to make the switch to purchasing organic labeled foods. Today I will first educate you about why organic food is healthier for you, safer for the farmers, and better for the environment and animals. Then hopefully you will take my advice to purchase organic labeled foods over conventionally raised and harvested foods. The main problem are pesticides. Pesticides cause a multitude of problems, so avoiding them would be better for your health, for you, and your family. According to the National Resource Defense Council, or NRDC, organic food adds to the problem of antibiotic resistance, which makes antibiotics ineffective for treating illness because antibiotics used in organically raised animals are not allowed. The NRDC also stated, unlike conventionally produced food, organic food exposes you to no synthetic pesticides or growth hormones. These substances have been found to be dangerous, including problems from cancer and birth defects to damage to the nervous and reproductive systems. But that's in lab studies of animals when they're used in high levels. Although no studies have been conducted involving low levels or combinations of substances such as you would encounter in real life. Most people would probably agree to avoid these substances just to be safe, especially for children who are more susceptible to harm due to their still developing systems. According to an article from the Dr. Oz Show, one study found that children who switched to an organic diet for 5 days had significantly lower levels of pesticide residue in their urine. Organic food is much better for your health, but what about the farmer that must cultivate the land and grow the crops? Farming organically leads to a drastic decrease in potentially dangerous chemicals that a farmer may come across. In the agricultural health study conducted by the National Cancer Institute, they reported, in comparison with the general population, the rates for certain diseases, including some types of cancer, appeared to be higher among agricultural workers, which may be related to the exposure that are common in their work environments. For example, farming communities have higher rates of leukemia, non-Hodgkin lymphoma, multiple myeloma, and soft tissue sarcoma, as well as cancers of the skin, lips, stomach, brain, and prostate. The AHS also reported that people exposed to certain pesticides have an increased risk of developing certain cancers, but further research is needed to confirm these findings and to evaluate the potential mechanisms by which pesticide might influence cancer risk. However, some cases have been verified, such as in 2009, when the AHS reported people who use the weed killer imazepafir have increased risk of bladder cancer and colon cancer. It was first used in the United States in 1989, and since then has been one of the most common used herbicides for killing weeds in soybean, dry bean, alfalfa, and other crop fields. The report indicated that people with the highest cumulative lifetime exposure had more than twice the risk of developing bladder cancer compared to those who had no exposure to the chemical. Similarly, the risk of colon cancer was nearly twice as high as normal among farmers who had had the highest level of exposure compared to those who had no exposure to the chemical. Now that you know the danger posed to farmers from conventional farming, how do you think the environment and animals are affected? Well, an article from the Dr. Oz Show stated when organic farming is used, much fewer pesticides are released into the environment. Some of these pesticides can taint local water sources and harm local aquatic wildlife. Studies also show that organic farms produce less waste and use less energy. When animals are raised on an organic farm, they are treated much more humanely. Chickens are allowed to free range and are not forced to remain caged, as well as cattle. They are allowed to roam the field and not kept captive. The animals are also fed a natural feed, or grass, and not a manufactured animal feed. An article from earthfuture.com reported the results from 14 animal studies. Of these studies, 10 showed that animals fare better when fed organic food. 3 showed no difference, and 1 showed an improvement with conventional food. From these studies, female rabbits fed on organic food have had twice the level of ovium, or egg cell production, as well as no decline in fertility over 3 generations. However, rabbits that were fed conventional food saw a decline in fertility. Finally, chickens fed on organic food have a 28% higher rate of egg production. Now that you have heard the potential dangers facing you, your family, the farmers, the environment, and the animals, as well as the potential damage that could occur, and although there is still much to be learned about the effects from pesticides, wouldn't you agree you would like to try to avoid any potential problems? You can help yourself, your loved ones, the farmers, the environment, and the animals, all by simply buying organically labeled foods. And the easiest way to tell on the label, it says USDA organic. It's the only way to prove it is organic.
And it does taste better.
Done.
Ta-da. Animal.